Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I am Matiullah Khatak, teaching you English. This lesson is a part of the previous lecture, in which we had discussed almost 4 kinds of a noun in detail. It has 9 kinds in total. The remaining kinds may be learnt in this lecture today. So now let us proceed to our main topic. Our objectives, they are the same as we had in the previous lesson. So keep these objectives in mind and try to attain them at all cost. So the fifth kind of a noun is called concrete noun. Let us define a concrete noun. A concrete noun is a noun which is real or physical. So it is real or physical. You might think of it as something which can be perceived by your senses. You can perceive concrete noun through your senses, your 5 senses. This kind of noun appeals to our 5 senses of seeing, smelling, hearing, touching, or tasting. Look at the following examples. I hear the music. Her hands were wet. Here you may think about music is an abstract noun, but it is not an abstract noun. It is concrete noun. One thing you need to remember over here, it is uncountable noun as well. So it is uncountable, it is concrete, but it is not abstract, because you can hear music. You can perceive it through your power of hearing. If you can perceive a noun through any of your 5 senses, we call it a concrete noun. If you see it, it is concrete. Smell it, concrete noun. You can hear it, concrete noun. So music is concrete noun. Hands, her hands were wet. It is also concrete noun. You can touch it. So if a noun appeals to any of your 5 senses, we call it a concrete noun. If it doesn't appeal to any of your 5 senses, then we call it an abstract noun. So a concrete noun is usually contrasted with an abstract noun. We will discuss it in the next slide, how to differentiate between a concrete noun and an abstract noun. If you can perceive it through your 5 senses, if you can sense it, it is concrete noun. If you cannot sense it, then it is an abstract noun. So I hear the music, her hands were wet. In both these examples, the nouns music and hands are real items which can be sensed. Here in the list you can see a number of concrete nouns. For example, you can see designer, you can see a designer. Detective, you can see a detective, a police officer, one who probes into crimes. Daughter, you can see doctor, you can see dentist. It appeals to your sense of seeing. Egg appeals to your sense of seeing. Elephant, earrings, ears, eyes. So this whole list consists of nouns which are concrete. When I say concrete, it means they are real physical object. You can either perceive them through your 5 senses of seeing, of smelling, of hearing, of touching, or tasting. If they had been abstract noun, and it would not have been in your power to see them, to smell them, to hear about them, to touch them, or taste them. So let us proceed to the sixth kind of noun, which is usually contrasted with concrete nouns, and it is called the sixth kind of a noun is called an abstract noun. Let us see how it is defined. The abstract noun is used to refer to something which is not tangible. Not tangible, you cannot touch it. It is not physical, not real. They cannot be sensed through the five senses of seeing, smelling, or hearing, or touching, or tasting. They cannot appeal to any of your five senses. You cannot sense them through your five senses, which are as discussed here. Consider the following examples. He showed a lot of bravery while fighting a lion. Sarah has an extraordinary intelligence. Extraordinary intelligence, remarkable intelligence. So, or the underlined words, you can see they are called abstract nouns. Why do we call them abstract nouns? So, just think, imagine for a second or minute. Can you sense bravery through any of your five senses? Surely not. You cannot sense bravery through your five senses. You cannot see bravery, you cannot touch bravery, you cannot hear about bravery, or you cannot test bravery. So, what is intelligence? Can you see? Can you draw any shape? Can you give any shape to intelligence? No, intelligence cannot be seen, cannot be heard, cannot be touched or tested. So, that category of noun which cannot be sensed through your five senses, we call it an abstract noun. Sarah has an extraordinary intelligence. Intelligence you have never seen, you will never see it ever. As you can see, the nouns in the following phrases are not things which can be physically sensed. They cannot be physically sensed or touched. So let us give a look to the list given here. Ability, you cannot see it, you cannot sense it through your power of hearing, you cannot sense it through your power of touch or tasting. Adoration, advantage, adventure, amazement, they do not appeal to. In simple words, once again you can say, none of them appeal to your power of hearing or listening or touching or tasting. So anger, you cannot see anger. Annoyance, anxiety, awareness, beauty, belief, bravery, brilliance, calm, care, chaos, charity, childhood, clarity, coldness, comfort. None of them you can perceive, very much like music, as we discussed in the previous lecture. Like hands, you can touch hands, you can hear music, but you cannot touch or hear or listen about advantage. So this is the sixth kind of a noun. The next kind, which is called material noun. So the next kind of a noun is called a material noun. Let us see how it is defined. Material nouns are names given to the raw elements or objects exist in the nature and cannot be created by human beings. However, many new things can be created by man using raw materials. We can say that material nouns are common nouns as they denote substances instead of denoting people or places. So from the definition you can easily deduce that material nouns are raw materials of which other things are made. They are used to make other things. They are raw elements or objects created or obtained from the nature, and they cannot be created by human beings. However, many things can be created by using raw materials, and one thing more you can see over here, that they are common nouns because they do not refer to anything in particular, anything specific. They do not talk about people or places. They are used to talk about, to refer to substances or objects. So they come under the category of a common noun. The main source of raw materials or nature. Where do we obtain raw materials from? It is from the nature, animals or plants. A list of common material nouns is provided under various categories as under. Material nouns from nature. Water, material noun, air, silver, gold, iron, copper, sand, coal, rock, sunlight, rain, earth, salt, etc. They are called material noun, and they are obtained from the nature. The second source of material noun is from animals. You can see egg, meat, honey, milk, silk, leather, wool, etc. Material nouns may also be obtained from plants. Cotton, food, oil, wood, jute, coffee, medicine, tea, rubber, perfume, they are also called material noun. The fourth source of material nouns, which are man created, they are called acid, alcohol, asphalt, bricks, cement, butter, chalk, ghee, cheese, daikon, ebony, enamel, felt, gelatin, paraffin, cloth. They are the different subcategories of a material noun. So, how they are treated, how they are used, how do they function in a sentence? There are certain rules. Let us give a short view to the rules as well. Following are the rules you need to remember in order to make use of material nouns in a sentence. While using material nouns in a sentence, these are the rules that you should apply. Generally, articles a, an, or the are not used with material nouns when they are uncountable, such as. It means material nouns are uncountable, or usually uncountable, because you cannot count coal or sand or copper or wool or medicine or cheese. They are uncountable. Sometimes they are treated as countable noun. They are specified, not countable noun. Sometimes they are specified. So when they are uncountable, such as honey is wholesome food and beneficial to health. You cannot say that the honey. The honey will be a wrong expression. Usually such MCQs are given in the examination and in different tests for and professional tests. So the honey is wholesome food for health, beneficial to health. You cannot say the honey or honey or any other article. Water boils only at 100 centigrade temperature. You cannot say the water, a water, or an water, because it is a material noun, uncountable noun. One thing I am saying it again and again, that it is material noun and uncountable noun, material noun and abstract noun. Remember this statement: material noun and abstract noun, they come under the category of uncountable noun. And one thing more, some of the concrete nouns are also uncountable noun. For example, as you read in the example, I can hear this music. So music is also uncountable noun. But there are other concrete nouns which are countable. Advantages, for example. Advantages. Uh, they 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 are pluralized and they are counted. They are considered as countable noun. So the two main kinds, material nouns and abstract noun, they are placed under the category of uncountable noun, and some of the concrete nouns are also placed under the category of uncountable noun. Rule number 2, articles a and n may be used with material nouns when they are countable, denoting types of a material or showing helping nature, such as I would like to eat a Dutch cheese. As we had discussed in the previous lecture, that you can use a or n with an uncountable noun when we were discussing the chart of countable and uncountable noun, that you can use it if it is specified, if it refers to anything particular. So it is a Dutch cheese. We are not saying, we are not telling I would like to eat cheese. We are talking about a Dutch cheese. So here we are specifying, we are particularizing, we are talking about a particular kind of cheese, which is a Dutch cheese. So it will receive a and according to the pronunciation rules, or the. So it would be wrong to say I would like to eat Dutch cheese. You should say I would like to eat a Dutch cheese, because it is specified here. It is it refers to a particular kind of cheese which is uncountable, but it has been specified, particularized. When it is specified, particularized, you need to use a over here. It is a very healthy wine. So wine, once again, is uncountable as material, but you are using a over here because you are talking about a very healthy, a helping nature. You are describing the helping nature, the beneficial nature of this material noun, of this material noun, of this. You cannot say it is uncountable noun because you are using a with the wine. So you are counting its benefits. You are counting its its nature, its type. So if you are talking about the type or nature of an uncountable noun, even though it may be a material noun, you will have to use a or an or any other article like the along with it. If it is, I am repeating this rule, if it is specified, if you are talking about its particular nature, if you are talking about its type, then you need to use a as an article even with an uncountable noun. So use of the and some can also be done in the following way. The honey in the bottle is mine. So this, you were not using the with this honey, but you are using the with this one. What is the reason? The reason is very simple. Here you were talking about honey in general. You are not talking about a specific type or nature or kind of honey, but here it has been specified with the use of this phrase, the honey in the bottle. The honey in the bottle is mine. Or the honey is in the bottle. In the bottle specifies this honey, so it is mine. The honey in the bottle is mine, don't give it to others. For example, you say honey is good for health. The honey is good for health. Which one will be a correct sentence? I think you can easily guess it. Honey is good for health. The honey is good for health. So, the honey is wrong because you are not specifying. You are talking about honey in general. The honey is good for health is wrong. Honey is good for health. So this one has been specified. The honey in the bottle is mine. Don't give it to other. I saw there is some milk in the glass. So some milk, some can be used as you learnt it in the previous lecture, that some a little can be used with uncountable nouns. So you can say I saw there is some milk in the glass, but you cannot say I saw there is few milk. Few is used with countable noun. You can say I saw there is a little milk in the glass, some milk in the glass, but you cannot say there is many milk in the glass. Many milk in the glass will be wrong. Now let us see the eighth kind of a noun, which is called collective nouns, which is very clear from the name of this kind that collective, it shows collection of things, total of something, a class of things. So let us see the definition. The collective noun is used to refer to a collection of things or people. So it is a collection of things or people. So this kind of noun is used to represent a class, collection of many things. Let us take a look at some of the examples of collective nouns. The pack of dogs ran wild through the town. Pack of dogs. So a pack is a word, is a noun which shows a collection of a class of dogs. The pack of dogs ran wild through the town. Similarly, the choir sang loudly in the church. The choir is a group of singer. So it is showing, representing a class, total of something, collection of something. Similarly, we have other words. For example, we say or army. Army is a collection of many things. Assembly is a collection of many members. Family, collection of many members. The jury, a collection of judges. Crew, collection of staff members. So a class, a collection of student. Crowd, a collection of people. So these are the words which are used to represent a collection of many things or people. Here you can see people, animals and things. So a band of men, a band of men, a cast of actors, as you can see on the screen when a play or drama or film is over, a stake of librarians. So you cannot say a band of librarians. Each group of people, each collection of people, each number of people has a specific word used for them. You cannot use one for the other, otherwise it will be a wrong expression if you say a band of librarians or a cast of librarians, a sentence of judges, a jury of judges, a galaxy of beauties, a galaxy of stars, a bevy of girls, a choir of singers, a hack of smokers, a blast of hunters, a blush of boys, a board of directors, a circle of friends. You cannot say a board of friends, or you cannot say a circle of directors, a body of men, a bunch of crooks. and a caravan of travelers. You cannot say a bunch of travelers or a caravan of crooks or grapes. A class of pupils, a company of actors, a crew of sailors. So you cannot say a company of sailors. For each collection, for each group, there is a specific word used. A gang of thieves. You cannot say a crew of thieves. A disguising of tailors. A doctrine of doctor. A staff of employees. So the rest animals and things are used like this, as we learnt about the first list in this chart. So the next kind of a noun is called a compound noun. The next and the last kind of a noun, compound noun, as it is clear from the name of this kind, it is made up of two or more than two words. These two words are usually nouns or noun plus adjective. Adjectives, as you know, are used to modify nouns. Sometimes they are so frequently used with a noun that they become the part of it and they cannot be detached from that noun, and they become compound noun. Similarly, nouns are used. For example, if you look at this one, the blackboard. So board is a noun, black is an adjective. Blackboard, you cannot detach black from the board. It has been so frequently used. Whiteboard, red color. So they are so frequently used together that they become one word and they are called compound noun. So black is an adjective, board is a noun. This adjective has been frequently used. It is with this noun and it has become the part of it. They are written as one word and they are called compound noun. Similarly, bookshelf. If you look at shelf, it is a noun, book is a noun. So book is used as an adjective, as we had discussed that some noun are used as an adjective. So book is used as an adjective with the shelf, and so this has become one word which is made up of two nouns. This kind of noun is called compound noun. Bookworm. Worm is a noun, book is a noun, so it has become a compound noun. Let us see how it is defined. Compound nouns are words for people. They are used for people, animals, places, things or ideas made up of two or more words. They are usually made up of two or more words. They are used for places, animals, things or ideas. Most compound nouns are made with nouns that have been modified by adjectives. Used with nouns that have been modified by adjective means that nouns are modified, explained by adjectives, as I told you in the blackboard or bookshelf. So adjectives are used to modify noun and they become attached with that noun so that they become a compound noun. Or other nouns, one noun is used to explain another noun and then they become compound noun. Consider the following example. She went to meet a lady doctor. So we say a lady doctor. Lady is an adjective, doctor is a noun. So this adjective modifies this noun and this has become a compound noun. We saw many passers-by walking along the road. Passers-by, those people who passes by a road, they are called passers-by. It is used in plural form. So there are rules how to make the plurals of compound noun. We will see it these rules over here. Passers-by walking along the road. So this is also a compound noun. In order to get the plural of such nouns, we add this suffix x to the stem word or base word. Stem word or base word is this noun, this passer. In the given examples above, the stem words are doctor and passer. So their plural will be formed as under. For example, lady doctor, lady doctors, passerby, passers-by, son-in-law, sons-in-law, sons-in-law. So S is received by the base word, by the stem word, not by laws. Commander-in-chief, commanders-in-chief. So the S is received by the commander, which is the stem word or the base word. Sons-in-law, daughter-in-law, daughters-in-law. So they are pluralized by adding the S as a suffix to the base word or the stem word. And these which have become one word, you can add the S to the this is acting as one word. You cannot separate them. Airports or airlines, aircraft is used in both cases as singular and plural. They have the same case. Armchairs, you cannot say arms chair. Boy's friend, you cannot say boyfriends. Battlefields, backgrounds, basketballs, battleships, and classmates. Chopsticks, grandmothers, you cannot say grandmother. Grandmothers, newspapers, snowboards, starlights. So I hope you got the main points of this lecture. Do forward your question in the comment box if you carry any. Thank you very much.